Hey everybody, happy Friday. Whew. Literally just finished chewing my dinner. Hey Lisa Colovi, how are you? Hope you're having a good week. Hey Holman's Homestead, good to see you guys. Hope you're all doing well. We had I saw hey Blue Collar Homestead, good to see you. Lisa Colovi, I'm sure you meant hello, not hell, but I'll just it made me laugh. Excuse me. Hey, Craig, good to see you. So I'm laughing because, hey, bro, cowgirl. I'm laughing because I just finished chewing my dinner as we were starting because it took a little longer than expected. But I saw somebody on Instagram post how they cut up chicken and made like skewers, like kebabs for the grill. And I did that. So I guess everybody's using pickle juice of some form all the time. And so what I had in my fridge was that last year we made that pickled cauliflower and we canned it. And that juice is amazing on tuna and stuff. So I had some leftover and we took out one of our chickens. So I took the breasts and I cut them in chunk sized pieces and I marinated them overnight in it. And then we had them on skewers, shish kebab, so to speak, with onions, peppers, and then zucchini from the garden. Really, really good. Amazing. So I thought that was a cool way to use the leftover juice because it's really tasty. Hey, Gwen, bro, cowgirl, good to see you. Everybody saying hey. So tell me, how are your gardens doing this year? Soon good, marinated in pickle juice. um Yeah, it was really good in the cauliflower, pickled cauliflower juice. Oh my gosh. Gwen said hers is done, probably from all that rain and heat. Well, I'm hearing a lot of people say it's not a good year for them. So that's why I'm asking. I got thinking about it. Um, Everything but the beans are doing good. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. You replanted though, right? I didn't do beans this year. It's just I don't find that we get enough of a yield to wait to bother with my time. Hey Sarah, good to see you, Rising Swine. Um, yeah, I mean, I just recorded a video today finally because we've been cold the past couple of days. Like 52 or 50. I don't know. They said 54 broke the record or something, but it's like I don't know. We were cold. Gonna replant some more tomorrow. That's good. I'm glad you're doing that. I know some gardeners use these wire mesh baskets, and I know you have a huge row, but just throwing it out there. These wire mesh waste baskets that they get for $1.25, which is probably $1.50 now at the Dollar Tree. And they put them over them to keep critters from getting them while they're young. Beans don't make well when it's hot. Yeah, I find mine don't make well because it's not hot enough. Third time on some. I totally get it. Last year, how many times did I plant beans in that raised bed? And it just went through so much effort planting and replanting, and it just didn't do much at all. Garden is definitely slower this year. We cut our garden in half, giving the soil a break to replenish the soil. Smart. Yeah, I am not weighing this year. I am just sitting back and harvesting. Of course, I'm going to freeze what I can or do with whatever with what I have. Um, but I'm not killing it this year. Spent many years doing it, and I need a break from it because gardening is not my favorite thing. So, ironically, we've been getting rain, and I'm going to put that in the video as well. Like, I think we've gotten the most rain that you know, that we've seen here since we moved in 2020. Um, but and the garden looks so much different when it's rain versus me watering them. So it looks really good, but we've got all those butternut plants. I've gotten one male flower. That's it. That's it. They just sat there for like a month, and it's like, we're coming into August here soon, and we've got hopefully a guaranteed month left. So we need to get a move on here. So it's getting kind of frustrating. Gwen got a cucumber today, but they look so sad. Hey, welcome to my Cape Cod life. Good to see you, Rick. Holman's Homestead said thundering out right now. Last night it stormed bad again. Jeez. Stay safe. Got a new job that farms about 10 to 15 acres of produce for employees. That's awesome. Good luck. That's awesome. Good to hear. Did I miss anybody? I don't think so. Oh, I'm glad it didn't rain there today, Gwen. So, Gwen, are you in the path of that? I don't know. I haven't watched the weather. Are you in the path of any tropical depressions or hurricanes or whatever the heck's going on in the Gulf? Congrats. That's exciting, Rick. Great job. Yeah, so I'm curious. How are people? So Holman's Homestead said their garden's doing great, except for the beans. Gwen said hers is done. Blue Collar said theirs is slower. Ours is definitely slower, I'm noticing. No, the path of that thing kind of just broke apart over Louisiana. Good, 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 good. Yeah. Where do you see our peppers? I mean, I am not wasting my time anymore. Peppers are not hard to grow, and they just are doing nothing. So I've learned a lot this year because we're going to be streamlining a lot of it and just sticking with what works. I've got a pepper. The weeds are doing excellent. Yes, the weeds are excellent. Where do you see my one greenhouse? The green one that's going to go in the garbage this year? That one is full of weeds, and I don't even go in there. It's such a pain. I water from the doorway. Ooh, stuffed pepper sounds good. Yeah, it's just ridiculous. I've got a pepper that's been on the plant for it's got to be a month. It's it's just doing nothing. So I'm gonna cut it off, I think. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But it's so funny how things are different from year to year and all that. So hopefully next year I'll go back to what works because clearly wasting my time with some things. What was the other? Oh, I got acorn squash and buttercup squash growing. The buttercup squash is looking good. I think I've got 2 of them, maybe 3, but we'll see. Anybody do anything new this year that they want to talk about? Or I know a lot of us tend to stick to what works, but I'll be doing that next year. But I have to admit, it's been a nice break from tomatoes this year. A nice break because we had so many canned. We just bought, Ryan just ordered a case of asparagus, a case of green beans, and a case of beets. So we'll be getting that next Saturday. So we'll be pretty busy with that, getting that all put up. But I've got a bunch of stuff new to me, but the leeks are the new ones, the exciting ones to me. So hot in Tennessee these days, 107. Whew. Yeah, no kidding. Oof, I'd be dead. I'd be dead. That's rough heat. I couldn't imagine. Too hot for me. Um, Trying to think what else. I got something eating my leeks in the IVC tote. But yeah, I'm enjoying just not being a slave to the garden. Not that I ever was, but I'm just not I'm not killing myself. If there's stuff to harvest, there's stuff to harvest. We got our first zucchini today, end of July, really late. We got gorgeous heads of broccoli, so that was cool. Gwen said garden is done, sowing season has come early this year. Yeah, Gwen, you got me knitting. I don't want to say what it is because it's a surprise for somebody I know and they could be watching. Um, but I've been knitting a little mini project and I got help on my socks. I got turned around in my socks. I was doing my second pair and I had to wait for a group, and my knitting group, my fiber group only meets first and third Saturdays instead of every week now because everybody's so busy. So, um, I'm just trying to knit a little gift for a friend, but I did that in between while I was waiting. So I'll go back to my socks. Gwen's like, I know what it is. I will. I'll send you a pic after the live if that's all right. You won't be able to You'll be able to get the vision, but it'll be cool. Hey, About 6 Acres Homestead, happy Friday. Good to see you guys. How's your gardens, About 6 Acres? Rick, welcome to my Cape Cod life. Said pole beans are starting to come in. My summer squash is starting to bloom. Going to pull garlic soon. Planted a fall crop of beets. Sowed more lettuce. That's awesome. Yeah, I just pulled up the last of my scapes tonight, and I pulled up one head of garlic. Wasn't looking great to me, but they still have time. They took a real huge beating from the hail. So we'll see how they do. But the one that I saw was not impressive, I'll tell you that much. But they still have what, another week or so, maybe 2 or 3. We'll see how it goes. Whatever it is, we freeze it. That's the beauty of it. One thing that I did with my garlic scapes this year is freeze dried them all in 2 different batches because I've freeze dried a bunch of herbs already. And it dawned on me to take the scapes and make powder, make garlic powder. So that's what I'm doing with them. Is I've got them all freeze dried. I usually chop them up, put them in the freezer because it's not a lot. But I had more of this time, and I said, you know what? I'm just gonna do that and make garlic powder out of it. I find that store-bought garlic powder doesn't sit well with us. Store-bought garlic does not sit well with us either when people do like that jarlic and all that stuff. Ironically, when we eat our homegrown garlic or garlic from the farmer's market, no problems. So that's what I did. Yeah, I have an extra coffee grinder. I love it. Rick said his garlic looks small this year too. Yeah, ours was small last year and this year. Well, so far what I've seen this year. But, we still have a few more weeks. About 6 acres said tomatoes are 90% done, but so excited for watermelon. Winter squash looks good. Patty pans are so yummy. That's awesome. Yeah, tomatoes are understandable with all that heat. I'm glad your winter squash is looking good. We've had one male flower on our butternut. Makes me insane. So slow. Like it needs to grow a full butternut in a month and a week. Or is it 2 weeks? But it's driving me crazy. It is a lot better, Holmans. I agree. So much better. Hey, Barb's Country Home. Good to see you. Juana at about 6 acres says she uses our immersion blender to grind. You should see all the food they're pulling in. My word. I've got chili peppers still on the plant, not turning red. I'm about to pick them. But yeah, I love the freeze dried herbs. Because that was why we bought our freeze dry. That's why we invested in it, because we wanted to be able to freeze dry the food that we grew. That was like my push for it. And because I'm not, I mean, I can, don't get me wrong, I don't like mushy food. So, like certain things I will can, I have no problem with that. But um, I don't like potatoes canned. I don't like carrots canned. Um, yeah, no. And all that stuff we froze last year, oh, we're still eating off of it. Still eating off of it. I cannot believe it. It's been amazing. Clearly, we're not going to have that this year, but Barb is overwhelmed with produce from her garden. You should see the stuff Barb is pulling in. Do garlic scapes and garlic stick together after powdering when freeze dried? No. If they did, that would indicate moisture. And like dehydrating, I don't need to condition it. You know, when you dehydrate, they say you have to condition the stuff, like shake the powder for a week to make sure there's no moisture in it and that kind of thing. I don't have to do that. So, all right. So Gwen answered this, but everybody else, let's get in on this. About 6 acres said our pumpkins are mostly orange. Does anyone know when I should pick? Last year we only had one and we picked before frost. This year they came in strong, but I don't want to pick too early. So Gwen said when the stem turns brown. Blue Collar said we planted our tomatoes late this year, going to be picking tomorrow. Awesome. Is there any advice like with the tendrils, like they do with watermelon and all that with pumpkins? It does when I dehydrate. It's like the sugar stays sticky. Yeah, no. Doesn't do it with the freeze dried. Freeze dried is completely dry and I'll put it through, and in fact, I'll have to cover my face when I powder it. So, yeah, and that's why you have to do that conditioning with the dehydrated stuff is, shake the jar. I one time I made tomato powder. I had never made it before, and yeah, I'm going to admit it. This was 5 years ago. I made tomato powder and I dehydrated it because that's all we had. I put it in the jar and I kept shaking it like it said to, and it kept sticking and sticking and sticking. And I was so mad because these were dehydrated beyond belief, right? And then I took the jar out because I was like, well, it's going to go rancid. I put it on a tray in the oven. Bad idea. I burned it, but it was pretty funny, I thought. How far we have come. I'm on to burning new things now, but Barb started her seeds for her fall garden yesterday, and yet you're overwhelmed. Wow. Yep. Barb's country home is a Texan. Broke Cowgirl Homestead is a Texan. I think I think Gwen is Eastern. I think Barb is more Western. I'm not saying where anybody is. And I know about 6 acres is Eastern. Pumpkins don't have tendrils like watermelon do. Ah, gotcha. The main cook in this house cannot make a grilled cheese sandwich without at least burning one side. I like the burnt side. Mm-mm-mm. Oh, okay. Southern and Galveston County. That makes sense, Barb. I don't. Yeah, I got my directionals messed up, but that's awesome. Yeah, so it's going slow. I'll edit the video this weekend. Hopefully have it up by Monday. I don't like to post on the weekend. But I know we've got a bunch of stuff to do, so I'll try to get it put up by then, by Monday. And but I'm just blown away because, like I said, I've got all the pictures of the rain gauge. I can't believe how much rain we've had compared to our normal. Last year, the grass, we had a month of grazing, and no, was it that long? Trying to think. I think by July 1st, we were already feeding hay because we were out of grass. They were picking tons of potatoes at work Monday. I'm thinking of freeze drying a bunch to make instant mashed potatoes. Absolutely. I would. They taste like they came right out of the ground. Delish. I would definitely mash them up. You can mash them up without the butter or the cream. I've done it with the butter and the cream because I knew we were going to use it. But I would just cook them and mash them, and you can add that stuff later on, because the good part about the freeze dried stuff is it doesn't require anywhere the amount of water to reconstitute like dehydrated potato flakes do. Excuse me. I remember the first time I did mashed potatoes from the freeze dryer, I went to reconstitute them like dehydrated potatoes, and I put about what the box said, for dehydrated. Way too much. Way too much. Hi, Annie. Good to see you, our urban homestead. Barb said, I'm just going to grow squash plants this fall. Butternut, watermelon, zucchini, squash, cantaloupe, cucumbers. No more tomatoes. Take a break from the tomatoes. I gotta tell you, it was freeing this year not to grow tomatoes. Freeing. I mean, I've got 4 tomato plants. They've had blossoms, but they're not doing anything. I'm like, whatever. We'll see how it goes. But again, we had almost was 90 degrees Monday or Sunday. Was it Monday? And then we had 50s. So crazy. But the reason why I say freeing for tomatoes is because we start ours in February. So I didn't have to deal with tomatoes in my house from February through June. Have a safe weekend. Take care, Holman's Homestead. Thanks for being here. I know they're your favorite crop and they grow well for you, and that's awesome. We grew a lot last year. I can get them locally. I can get a bushel cheap, and it just makes sense for me. We bought a bushel of tomatoes last year, and then we grew 120 pounds. So we just have so many tomato products for the 2 of us that are canned. We just didn't bother this year, so we tried peppers, and that was a waste of time, I'm convinced. Unless They rally. Maybe they'll rally. I don't know. But even the cauliflower, I'll tell you, you guys know the difference between self blanching and non self blanching cauliflower, right? We currently have cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, sugar snap peas, onions, cucumbers, tomatoes, and potatoes growing. Awesome, Annie. Amanda picked 3 pounds, 12 ounces of cherry tomatoes today. They just keep going. That's awesome. Barb says, I just like growing peppers. For some reason, we have never had luck with broccoli or cauliflower. You need shade cloth. It's too hot. You got to grow it during a cooler time of the year, and you need shade cloth. I am convinced. Because y'all know the problems we have with sun here, right? We use 40% shade cloth over our brassicas and grow them midsummer. And the ones that are under the shade cloth are leaps and bounds ahead of the ones that are not under the shade cloth. Hey, Nancy, our treasured home. So they require, cauliflower and broccoli require cool, moist soil. So you want to plant it out during a time of your year that takes advantage of your cooler weather. You may have to experiment whether you use shade cloth or not, but I can tell you I was not going to put shade cloth over them this year. And then I looked at Mr. Yogi Hella Farm and I said, we got to get shade cloth. They're not doing much at all. We put that shade cloth up, the moisture stays in, and they were thriving. Unbelievable. When we do our video Monday, take a look. You'll see me say, I'll show you in the back overflow garden, we have the 3 tunnels with the shade cloth, and then above it is the hail cloth on the pergola. And after I show you the cabbage tunnel, I will say, and there's 2 that wouldn't fit. Huge difference. Huge difference. So self-blanching versus non-self-blanching cauliflower. So I want you to think of, I'm looking for something I could use as a cauliflower. Here's a cauliflower. Thanks, Lisa Clovey, for all you're doing. So this is my cauliflower. These are the leaves, right? So picture more leaves. But you get the point. So self-blanching, the leaves curl over the head, right? So you would literally have some of the leaves curl over the head on its own. You don't need to do it. Nature does it. Non-self-blanching is where you have, when you see the head appear and there's all these other things to consider, you take the leaves and you put it up and you tie it over the head. And why do they blanch? Because you want to keep it white and you want to keep it sweet. Last year's cauliflower, if you remember, they were huge, they were white, they were sweet because they were self-blanching early snowball variety. So have a good night, Blue Collar. Thanks for being here and good luck with your new job. So the reason why I say that is the cauliflower that we harvested, because we got some starts from the nursery, were non-self-blanching. Because if it doesn't say it on the tag, I don't know. Well, they're yellowy, they're not as sweet, they're not as beautiful. They're not even appealing looking. I'm going to be honest. I still blanched and froze them, but they are nothing like the cauliflower we grew last year. So it just really, I mean, last year obviously was just a good year for cauliflower. I'm not saying you're going to get the best cauliflower every year, but last year was the best cauliflower we ever grew. And part of that was a really good year, and the other part was the fact that the self blanching. Because I've blanched cauliflower before manually and still wasn't great, you know. And then there's a certain time frame because you have to watch. Good night, Rick. Thanks for being here. Um, Sometimes, you have to watch in some areas, like, like Barb was interested in this information. She went, oh, but you have to watch when you're in places like Texas and hot places because you can create a place for fungus or things that in diseases and stuff. So you have to be really careful. But definitely do your research on what's good for your area and your zone. But I can tell you, self blanching early snowball is all I'm going to buy from now on because it just is great. We're also growing that green Macerata cauliflower. Now, green and the other colors, they say you don't need to blanch because it's not necessary. The colored ones don't get affected. My Macerata, the green ones, are up here by the house, so they won't get a ton of sun, so they're going to take forever. Barb says, I struggle growing cauliflower, broccoli, and onions. Shade cloth, shade cloth, shade cloth for the broccoli and cauliflower. Definitely. Definitely, definitely. Like I said, we use 40% and it's been great. So I can imagine if you're in a hotter climate, you really need that 40%. And you also, because it just keeps the moisture in. That's what I like. It keeps the soil cooler. The other thing too is, I mean, the night the piglets were born, we were at like 42 for the temp, and the real feel was under 40. And I remembered walking out when Eleanor was having the babies and looking at the fog and the moist dew on everything. And I was like, oh my gosh, I think we're having a frost. But it's just crazy. Yeah, I don't, the onion thing, Barb, they need a lot of water. They need a lot of blood meal. They need to be fed. Onions are cheap. We bought a bunch of onions from Vidalia onions from Georgia from the Lions Club, and I'm glad we did because I didn't grow onions this year. But I've had better luck with the self-blanching cauliflower versus colored cauliflower like purple. So my neighbor always makes this comment, Barb, about he's like, yeah, I'm not going to grow potatoes and onions because they're cheap at the store. I'm going to grow the tomatoes, which are quite expensive. And he's like, and there's nothing like a tomato that you grew. That's why I say grow the stuff. Grow the good stuff. Whatever you want, right? Trying to think what else. Hey Lisa, I saw that on Facebook. I'm your number one fan. You are. You are. You're amazing. That's awesome. Barb is the bomb, let me tell you. I'm trying to think what else now. Yeah, it's just been a challenging week. I'm sure you guys heard by now, right? We did lose the little runt, and we named her Hope. And so we have the other two. And we're planning on keeping those two. They're doing great. They're doing great. Eleanor had a really hard day on Monday. Really hard day. The thermometer said it was 89 here, but Ryan said it was like 93 in town. But Eleanor, we shut the heat lamp off. We had a fan on her. We can't hose her down because she's in the barn. She doesn't leave the barn when they're newborns. And she was struggling to breathe. She was actually in one of the warning sign areas because she's a lactating mother. That puts her at risk. So she was developing heat stress, and we just kept spraying her with a water bottle every 15 minutes and had the fan on her. And then the 50s moved in the next 2 days, and we were very thrilled for cooler temps since that time because she's recovered completely. So now we're just a little nervous for as the temps start to warm up again. Hey, Cindy at Pathways Homestead, good to see you. Gwen said, hey now, Facebook told me I was your number one fan. Facebook. The Book of Face likes to tell everybody they're my top fan. Everybody gets a trophy on Facebook. But yeah, it was just a real hard beginning of the week. And then we lost the baby, the little runt. Hope, she was very sweet and she fought like heck. But unfortunately, she just didn't make it. But we have the other two, and we've got names picked out for them in true Ryan fashion. So stay tuned for that. But we want to get them a little bigger, and then I'm going to start teaching them to sit for their supper. And they'll be here probably for a year and a half. Yep, I'm going to keep the two pigs. They're going to be raised for pork. That is their purpose. So we will keep them. Our plan is to keep them. We haven't officially named them yet. We're waiting to see if Fiona is bred. I'm looking at pictures. I'm just not seeing it like I did with Eleanor. However, Fiona wasn't as big as Eleanor. So Fiona always carried differently. And we were initially going to keep the runt also. But just sad she didn't make it because that little one fought like heck to get in there nursing and eating and all that. But we found her passed away. Thanks for sharing Pathway Homestead's link, Lisa. Appreciate you. So yeah, they're staying. They'll be here for, Waylon and Hank were here. Well, Waylon was here for 17 months. Do we have any name ideas? Yes, we have names picked out. We are just waiting to see if Fiona has her babies. If she has babies. I'm not seeing anything yet. But definitely have two names picked out. And of course, we have to get through castration day. That's always concerning. So hopefully, say a prayer that all goes smoothly. As you know, we've had some struggles in the past with losing pigs at that time. Hey, and at the Cow Emporium, don't worry about being late. Glad you were visiting with Tanner. That's very exciting. That's more important. So yeah, so that's what we've been up to. So and then Tuesday we went over to a friend of mine because she had the shearer come and she had her rams sheared. So that was really cool. I love helping and seeing that process. So I really like that. It's very fun. So we both went over and watched that. And we're very glad it was not as hot as it was Monday. Everybody's saying hi, saying hi. I never got the pics of it. Oh, geez. I'll have to try again. It was so cool. Yeah, it was so cool. Um, what's new with you guys? Anything? I know Gwen's doing some sewing. I actually did my nails. It's very rare. My soybeans are blooming. I need to go get a picture. Yes, you do. That's very exciting. Congrats, Annette. Congrats. That's exciting. Yeah, it's very rare for me to do. I have two colors, black and blue. And so it's just rare, but you know what? They're actually this is like even with working, my nails are better than they ever were. It's so funny. Oh, thanks. Oh, that's funny, Barb. Good for you. Yeah, it was just fun. You know, the first day it's all chipped up and then I leave it on for a week and then I take it off. So, hey, Scott, Rambling with the Brums, good to see you. But yeah, it was just fun. That's all. Just fun. If you know me, that is not my thing, but they've actually been pretty decent length for me. Like you can see, they're not real long, but for me, that's pretty decent. Oh yeah, totally chipped. Totally chipped. In fact, I put a layer on again last night to cover the chips. So I just, it's just not like me to have nails. And I said, I'm doing it. And I did it. And then I'll get it out of my system. So, but the thing that makes me laugh is, everybody who's like non toxic, they're like, oh my gosh, you did your nails. It's so bad for you. Whatever. I'm not somebody who went and got manicures or pedicures or any of that stuff, so I'm sure that I'll be fine. Wow, Gwen, you have to cut yours, they grow so fast? Yeah, not mine. It is a fun treat every so often. Great minds think alike, Barb. You're awesome. Yeah, it was just fun. I like the black. It's neat. It's like a graphite, so it's got a little sparkle in it. Um, you know, and I threw out all my nail polish because they were drying out and everything, but I ended up getting one was a free one inside of a Mary Kay thing that I won and I've had it for years, believe it or not. And the blue one was in a clearance bin for $1. So, okay, so I have a question. What are the numbers by people's names? Wow. On YouTube, is that where you're seeing it? I think it's the leaderboard. I didn't sign up for it, but hang on. I'm going to my. Okay, let me look because I'm in StreamYard. Oh, wow. Fancy. What is that number by my name with that special little crown? Top fans. Good to know. How do I win? So, if I am correct, that is, and I just deleted it. Hold on. It's the live leaderboard for top fans. Explore a fun way to spotlight top fans on live streams. So those are my most dedicated fans in real time. Thanks, Gwen. I am looking. I gotta go back. I gotta go back. Let's see. Ooh, about 6 acres. Barb says, so I'm your number one fan on Facebook and YouTube. LOL, and I don't have a crown and a number. That is weird you don't have a crown and a number. Gwen, you of all people. Yeah, you too, Annette. You should both have crowns and numbers. Weird. I have no control over this. I want you to know, so don't get fighting with me. That's so weird. So, how come? Yeah, Lisa Colovi doesn't either. Number 3 for Barb. Number 1 for about 6 acres. Who's number 2? Oh. Okay. Hold on. So it is weird. So I clicked. Hang on. Okay, so this is just weird. Hold on. Let me get the blur off. Okay. So I'm in the live stream, right? I have it paused. And I click on the purple number 1 next to our about 6 acres. And there's the leaderboard, and it's got points next to it. I don't know. Facebook's got that point thing that I don't understand. So then I click on, and then I try to click on it, and I can't do anything. I know, exactly, Gwen. Everybody's got the same amount of points, for crying out loud. Question. What's the leaderboard? A place for fans to stand out in the community. The top 3 get special badges and live chat. It resets every stream, so you can always try again. You'll need to collect experience points, excuse me, or XP. Here's how you get them. Send live chat messages. Lisa Colovi, oh my gosh, I love you. She said, I've been a fan of yours for over 50 years. Guess it's just too long. Oh, I am a fan of yours. Viva La Remington. She'll know what that means, but I'm not going there tonight. That is so cool. That's really fun. Ned says I need to show up earlier next time. That's why she has 50 XP points. Got it. Oh, that's so funny. Awesome. Oh, I tell you, the things that YouTube and all this social media stuff does, right? Just trying to think one other thing. Ned said I'm very competitive. Yes, you are. Well, then you're going to need to be waiting for the door to unlock to the live next week. Oh, that's so funny. Tanner, don't call mom. I need to be online, ready to go. Oh, that's so funny. All right, guys. Well, I am going to get going. I literally just finished chewing my dinner before as I click go live. So I've got to do some cleanup and go check on the piglets, but everybody's doing great. Eleanor has been amazing. She does it all. We don't have to do a thing except play with them. So you can't ask for anything better than that. in a mom, and fingers crossed Fiona surprises us. And we'll see from there. But right now I'm not seeing anything. She's got until August. Let me look real quick. Fiona has till August 21st. So technically, there is a lot of hope left. Why? Because their last month is when they show the most growth and the most physical changes. So say a prayer, fingers crossed. And hopefully we'll have a second litter. So that would be really cool. Have a great night, everybody. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay safe, stay cool, stay dry, stay out of flooding, all that jazz. And just be safe because there's some crazy stuff going on in the world. But love to all of you guys and have fun. Take care. Bye.